What's up, bro?
Mr. Justin Saunders.
How is it going, my man? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, man. It's going well. I'm driving my ass down from Chicago down to Bloomington, Indiana.
Oh shit. That's fun. What's in Indiana?
Couple of homies on the way to Nashville.
Nice. Yeah, I saw are you living in Nashville?
I am. I'm Airbnb-ing in this Federal Reserve building right now.
That's dope.
Where do we want to go with this, man? We've both killed it in business. Both, gone pretty hard in the realm of the old game. Obviously, you have a badass SMMA going. I'm a day trader. We can talk about all kinds of shit, man. I don't usually do this. I always go straight into a rabbit hole.
Okay.
Take us somewhere good, Justin.
I mean, we want to talk about business, bro?
Yeah, man. Because a lot of my business friends, right, they always talk about business, so it's like sometimes we get on and they're like, damn, another business one. But no, man, I mean, I was just up in Chicago here. We'll just fill the people in a little bit on like kind of what we're up to like right now and kind of where we're going.
Sounds good to me, man.
Cool, dog. So, dude, I was just up here in Chirac with Big D, Mr. Moneyberg himself, up in the old penthouse with the mastermind crew. And I mean, dude, like what a time, dude. Like what a great time with just like literally the smartest people I've ever met. Like you ever meet any of those dudes like that work in like AI and like really know what the hell is going on with AI?
Sounds like some really smart people.
Do you know any of those like super nerds?
I know a couple. I mean, a lot of the softwares we use inside our program, I have calls that I hop on with some of the developers and all that, but usually it's like one of those things where it's like they're just speaking like a whole different language to me because I'm just like, hey, I'm the marketer. I just generate leads. Tell me what I need to know just so I can get the system back up and running the right way.
No, I hear you on that, man. So it's really cool, right? Because we've been working on this trading algorithm, right? Because you probably know Derek hates day trading, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, right, he knows what I do. And, at one point I was like, Derek, like, should I even be like teaching this? And he's like, look, man, like there's a lot of people out there that want to learn day trading and you're a good man and they are better off learning it with you than they are with somebody else. So I was like, all right, okay then. But one thing that he did say that really struck me, man, he was like, well, if I was a day trader, I would just build an algorithm. No, obviously I don't know how to build this algorithm, but this dude in the mastermind that him and his team built some voice AI and sold that to Mickey D's for 140 mil. So this dude, like, he was telling me like he learned to program when he was 10, right? Like by the time he's in sixth grade, he has to go to the community college to like talk to the professor that teaches code, and then it's like he's smarter than her. And like he's just such a fascinating guy, right? Like I love smart people. So we're working on this algorithm, man, and that it's just a crazy thing to be working on. I mean, have you had any thoughts of building things in the SaaS space?
Yeah, man. I mean, especially in like the market that I'm in. I mean, for all of your viewers that are watching, I run a couple of social media marketing agencies, and I also like coach entrepreneurs how to do the same thing. And I mean, that's a very interesting question that you asked that because especially in SMA, dude, there's so many like SaaS companies out there where it's like there's a new thing every single day, it seems like. And to answer your question, have I thought about it? I've definitely thought about it quite a bit, but where I'm at in my business, like I'm just so focused on building out this current coaching program. So maybe something 6 months, 12 months down the road, there might be some sort of software in place, but that you're right. 100%. I mean, that's where the real freedom is, bro. If you can create some sort of software that provides solid results. I mean, you said it yourself, you could sell it somewhere, make a shit ton of money, and then also just like the monthly reoccurring revenue on that. Because I mean, that MRR, bro, that's where the real money's at in any sort of business.
I think that's super not talked about enough, right? I think that I think there's way more entrepreneurial secrets than anybody in the info business wants to admit. And that's fine. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I'm just a big proponent of just letting people know what's available to them. Like, I feel like a lot of now, it takes a certain kind of person to be like, oh yeah, let me assemble a team and build some AI, right? Like that's that's not exactly every online coach, but at least when I was 18, 19, and I was like, what are my options? Like, what are all of my options? And I dug, bro. I went all the way through, every occupation on, USA.gov for businesses. And, I mean, as one might imagine, the 1 minute trade method's not on there, right? Running an SMMA is not on there, right? Being an online coach is not on there. And building a SaaS and, turning around and selling it in 2 years for $100 million is a real thing. And, they don't put that on the list of what you can do. And it's, I wouldn't really say it's any harder than chemistry, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything in life, man. If you want to do something and you want to do it right, just find the gap. And usually the gap is a mentor, or a coach, or the team that gets you there. So as long as you're wanting, I'm a big believer that as long as you can see it and you can have a vision on how you get there, the rest will follow. You know what I mean? It's really just like anything in life you want. Like, you just have to go figure out who has the missing pieces for what you want.
That's an extremely simple and clear way to put that. I mean, I know when I was starting out in business, I was like, I know for a fact I made it way more complicated in my head than it ever actually was. Mostly just I was raised by a family of academics. Like, I thought being smart really meant something, And you know what? Probably before smartphones, it really did. It probably really did. But now, what question can you ask that the answer is not on Google, right? Granted, it's not a politically censored question, right? But yeah, man, it's just, it's crazy out here in the entrepreneurship world. And you said something I really love, man, which is focusing in. You're like, dude, yeah, I thought about a SaaS, but I'm so focused in on this, and it's kind of my answer to everything these days. It's I've picked my poison, dude. I'm not taking on anything else. Zero, nothing.
Yeah, I'm the same, man. And I think it's one of those things, because I'm a real big believer in automation. So for example, my agency right now, it's completely automated. I work probably 4 or 5 hours a week on it, but it's one of those things where and I think it's just a passion inside me. It's once I finish something, I got to go on to the next thing. So for me, it was I always loved coaching. That's my true passion. So now I'm building that out, figuring out how I can automate that and have less time involved in there. And then from there, maybe the next thing's SaaS. It's just one of those things where I think as entrepreneurs, it's always, okay, well, how do I do this, get it right, free myself up from time, and get on to the next bigger project?
That is what it is, because I think this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs that are probably listening, they think that doing everything themselves makes them an entrepreneur. And Mikhail said it best yesterday. He was like, a lot of these, for example, personal trainers just kind of end up being kind of work for hire. It's not really a business. It's a business, it's making money, but if that person left or didn't do that work, the business would fall apart. And yeah, man, I mean, you really got that on lock, because an SMMA, I mean, how many clients could you even have that you could actually manage by yourself if you were the one doing all of the work?
Dude, I tried it, bro. I had at most, it was 10 clients. And it's funny because a lot of people will go out there and preach. They're like, dude, you can get 20, 30 clients and manage it all yourself. And those people that tell you that are full of shit, because it's honestly like there's a lot of work involved with managing clients, managing expectations and all that. And like the thing with me, I mean, we hired an account manager like as soon as we crossed that 10 client mark, because we saw that pitfall in our business. Was like, hey, well, either if we want to scale to the next level, we have to have somebody else on our team. So it's one of those things, and that's the other thing, dude. Like, and I'm sure, I mean, I know you know it because you're a big believer in investing yourself, but like, there's so many people out there that they're false. They're just fucking false. They give you the wrong information. They try coaching you on something that they've never done. And it's like, you got to be careful you get your advice from that, man.
Absolutely, man. Bro, I'll give you a good one. So, as I like to say on my social media, like I paid $25,000 for my land coach, right? Dude does about 100 deals a year. I'm like, all right, I want to do the 100 deals a year. So this is how squirrely it gets, all right? $25,000, all right? You pay the main guy. Now, the main guy, he's got a team of coaches. Okay, fine. Got a team of coaches. I mean, for $25,000, I'd really like to be talking to the guy, but the guy's got quite a big brand, and that's fine. He earned it. Fine. Okay? Sends me over to the first coach. Okay? And I saw this guy talk on stage. He was in the military. He's it's hard, and I'm signing up for this and paying the $25,000, not because I can't figure out how to wholesale one fucking land deal. It's because I want that accountability and the systems that you can't just find on the internet and that don't come in the little $1,500 course. So I'm like, all right, and so in my mind, I'm paying $25,000 for, somebody that if they don't hear hear from me for a week, they're gonna send me a message and be like, hey, like, what up, man? Like, let's get it going. Right? That literally is what Derek actually said this weekend, that a mentor is for, is to help you pick the path and then force you through it. And so that's essentially what I'm signing up for. And, they're having me do everything myself. And it's like, why am I doing this myself beyond doing it one time, or beyond you just telling me enough to know if my VAs are bullshitting me, right? And so, I switched to a new land coach. I'm like, this guy, he's not holding me accountable. He's not. There's no accountability in this $25,000 freaking thing. And so I'm like, all right, dude, switch me to your young coach. I called him and I told him all that, and I said, look, this is not what I signed up for. They're like, all right, look, we're gonna give you some more calls. We're gonna switch you over to our other coach. He's more your age. He's also doing about 100 deals a year. He's been doing it for years. And this is the long story short kicker right here. Is, all right, new coach, show me the flow charts, baby. Show me the system. How does this thing work? What are all the little nuances? Let's set it up right the first time. I want to run this thing like a real business. I'm doing my trading. I'm doing my trading coaching. I signed up for this because to my understanding, this is a business that, if automated correctly, can be run in about 2 hours a day. So give me that system. I want that system. And then my new coach goes, oh, you're gonna have to pay me a lot more than $25,000 for that. I say, what? Yeah, you're fucking kidding,
wow.
Right? Like,
damn, bro. So not going too well with these land coaches, huh?
Nah. And, I just had that, $475,000 piece of land under contract in downtown Dallas. And so fucked up. So, because, right, we got an offer for $600,000, right? That's 125 bills, man. Got to go through the zoning, but sparked my curiosity. And I go to my land coach and I said, hey, man, how can I only work on the big deals? Like, if this is my first deal and it's a 6-figure profit deal, how do I only work on those? Oh, we don't do that. We don't do that. I don't do that. What are you talking about? I don't do. And I was like, you're fucking lying to me. You're fucking like, how? And he's like, oh, well, yeah, I know people that do it. And he's like, well, I can't teach that because that's not what I do. And I'm like, well, that's fine, but don't try to sit there and tell me that it doesn't work and that's not a real strategy.
Damn, man. Yeah, I mean, that just kind of goes to show, like, especially in this, I mean, everything in this world it's going to be interesting to see how the education program and everything's around, 10, 20, 30, 50 years from now. I'm like, because everything's starting to shift online. I mean, you see it, your audience sees it, and it's like, where does that trust factor come in? Like people like that, because I mean, I've been ripped off in the past too. I've invested, actually, same thing that you were saying. I just invested $30K in a program. So far, my experience has been not like your land coach. We'll knock on some wood like that somewhere around here, but it's been good so far for me. But it's like one of those things that you were just saying. It's like, I mean, if you're going to put that money up front, like $25K for a program, they should be going above and beyond to make sure that you're happy, that you're getting the results that you need, and even any sort of resources in the world are delivered to you. But it's like one of those things. It's like it's a very interesting shift that we're making in this education program on who you can trust and who you can get results from.
That's exactly it, man, because people pay for one thing. They don't give a fuck how hard you tried to get them results. They don't care how much time, energy, and effort went into it. They want the results. And as coaches, I know that as well as you know that. And I mean, what are maybe I'll answer my own question first here, but what are maybe some things we can talk about to people that help them identify, what to watch out for? Because I really thought, dude, I'm pretty hard to fool. All right, I'd like to think, and I really thought.
And I am the host now. What's up, show? For those of you that don't know, my name is Justin Saunders, and I will be taking over this podcast for the time being until Philip gets back on here. Well, in the meantime, until Philip gets back on here, I guess we can kind of just talk about some of the things that I use as an identifier for coaches before I make investments, because, I mean, there we go. Welcome back to the show, man.
Hey, we're back.
You're back, bro.
Thank you for hanging on, man. This rain is serious.
Where are you at right now, traveling wise?
I'm like just coming out of like the metropolitan area of Chicago.
I got you. Okay.
So
well, yeah, I mean, I think a couple good things would be to talk about, what are the key identifiers and, finding those type of good coaches, right? Because everybody, if you're an entrepreneur, like if you haven't been burned yet, lucky for you. But, I don't want to make it sound like that. There's a lot of good people out there, for sure. And it's just, you run into anything you do in life, you run into some people that just don't have the best interests. Yeah. So,
I mean, I would say the biggest thing, man, that like I give my students, like almost out of spite for this bullshit, is just like, I literally tell them, like, at the end of every one of our calls, I'm like, dude, if shit gets weird, give me a call. Like, entrepreneurial wise, like, if some shit gets weird, like, ring me up, man. Like, that's what I'm here for. And they do. And I talk them through it. Mr. Brito gave me a call the other day on a freak out, and I had him squared away in 4 minutes, and it's like, that's what you need when you're on this like fucking ridiculous journey of trying to, get it right as an entrepreneur. I don't know. I think that's something I wish I had a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're spot on with that. The accountability in any sort of coaching, that's what people pay for. So, if your coach isn't going to be keeping you accountable, I mean, that's already a red flag. I mean, a couple of things I do before investing. I mean, usually when I hop on a call, I'm one of those type of people. I'm really big into sales. I strongly believe like how you are in life is a mirror to what you get out of life. So like if I hop on a sales call, I'm not one of those people to bullshit around saying, oh, well, can you take off $500? Can you do this, this, and this? It's like, I'm ready to buy. So before I hop on these calls with people, I do research. couple of things I do is obviously, Google them, search them up, see where they're credible, see what they've done. The other thing is see what type of results they produce for their students. Usually most of the time for like, if I'm investing in somebody, I know one of the students or something. So I can usually just like reach out, see, be like, yo, like, how's this working out for you? Is it worth the 25, 30K investment, 5K investment, whatever it is? And I mean, usually if you can find a student that says, yeah, it's worth it, that's a green flag. Right. And then the other thing is like, I think the main thing is when you're looking for a coach, if they don't have the ideal lifestyle that you want, don't invest in them. I mean, there's so many coaches, there's so many courses out there, but in order to find the right one, it's got to be something you vibe with the coach with on, because, like, I don't get along with everybody. I'm sure you don't either. Like, there's certain people, it's like, you're not a good fit for my program. Like, I'm not going to help you out because I can't, because if we don't vibe along together, we're not going to work together great. Right. So I think that's another main thing, is just making sure, like, when you're looking for these coaches, that they're in a position where you want to see yourself in a couple months, a couple years, or whatever. They have that vision where you want to be.
Absolutely crucial, man. I mean, that's like the life swap test, right? Would you swap your life with them? Right? Like that was a good one. Ty Lopez did say he's like, I know tons of people that, like, yeah, they got $1 billion, but I wouldn't want to live their life.
Yeah. So, facts.
Yeah, man. It's that, you know what? And that's why I do podcasts, like, with my students. Like, every one of my clients knows they're invited on my podcast. Like, awesome. Yeah, because I mean, and like, even those reviews, like, even those, screenshots of Facebook group testimonials or whatever. I mean, I think, I've seen hundreds of them, and they're good and they do work. But I mean, the only thing stronger than that is like, like a coach and a client, talking about their process that they went through together. And, the listener gets to hear, like, wow, like, this is really the journey, and these are the people that are on it together.
Yeah. I mean, that's it, man. Having that coach, having that accountability, that's where it's at. And I like how you said that you invite all of your students on your podcast. I think that's something that, that's because, especially in what we do, getting more content out there, content's king. So anything you can be doing to get content out there, answering questions, helping people out, that's huge. It's something that I'm going to look at doing in my business as well, is getting my current students, whether it's on like some sort of call, some sort of recorded call, and pushing that content out there for more people. I like that.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, it's like, it really is like Joe Rogan says, like, you can't break down complex things in 1 minute, in a 1 minute testimonial video or whatnot. And man, even for me, it's hard to do. But the more just like bluntly take it or leave it, either you're gonna, if you've done a good job conveying the value at that, if your marketing is on point, you can just let them take it or leave it, man. And I think one of the most powerful frames a coach can get to is like, yo, if this person doesn't see the value in this, like, they're fucking retarded. Like, and I know that sounds like crass and kind of like fucking like, like, but it really, like, that's how you've done a good job, is like, I know I've answered every question they could possibly have, in my YouTube videos, in my IGTV videos, in my podcast, that, like, make it easy for them, make it easy for them to understand exactly what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah, we have something inside our program that we teach all of our clients. We call it the bulletproof offer. And it's basically kind of like crafting your unique offer that sells itself, because kind of like what you said there, you want to have your program, whatever you're offering to your clients, something that's really a no-brainer that sells itself. So that's been a game changer for us, all of our clients as well, is just making it sure that's an offer that's kind of bulletproof,
So many people they just don't understand, the importance of that. And it just, another thing that I want to touch on, man, that I heard that really resonated with me this weekend, and I'm curious to know, and I'm sure it does, resonate with you, man, is like Brennan Carter, right? He's like, 8 feet away from me on this fucking stage in this like tiny ass room that used to be a movie theater in this penthouse that Derek converted into like a mini fucking like conference room. And we're sitting there, and Brennan Carter's like, it really is going to take everything that you've got to get where you're wanting to go. Like, there is no like cheat sheet 12-week program where you just follow the steps and suddenly you're a multimillionaire. Like, if you want it at that, like, let's just be clear. Anybody with the internet can go make 5-10 grand a month online. Okay, that's great. Everybody should do it, you know. But that's like not even level one. That's like, you know, not even the level one. So it's like, you know, maybe you want to speak about that, like where, if you really give it your all, and these listeners right now hear this with us right now, and they go, what if I gave it my all? I mean, I know what that did for me, but I'm curious, like, what did that do for you? You strike me as the kind of guy that really gives it his all.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's spot on. I mean, you said it yourself. Everyone's always looking for the quick fix. And that's what separates the people that are the high achievers between the low achievers and the average achievers. It's, are you willing to give it your all? And I don't think people really understand what that concept means, because like giving it your all is the first word that comes to my mind is sacrifice. You know, you got to sacrifice a lot of aspects of your life. For me, like when I first got started with all this, dude, like what they refer to as burning the ships, right? Like I literally burnt all the ships, stopped all my connections with all my old friends. Anyone that was not moving me from point A to point B was not in my realm. Like I would not associate myself with them because I knew where I wanted to go. And the only way to get there was by surrounding myself with the right people. So I think that's I love that you brought that up. And I also think it's another thing it's one of those things where you have to commit to in your mind that you're going to give it to your all every single day, even when the days are not how you want them to be. Because let's face it, as an entrepreneur, dude, everybody thinks it's like just a straight line little roller coaster up. But dude, it is the most curvy motherfucker that you could possibly ride in the world. And as you were saying on theirs, if you can just commit to giving it your all every single day, even if that's just 1% better, even just 0.1% better, dude, that's where the magic's at. That's how you get to the next level. You know, just being able to commit, giving it your all. And I love hopping on here talking to you. I do have a hard cutoff in 5 minutes just to.
I do too.
Okay, cool. But I think, you know, man, if you can commit and see where you want to be in life and say, well, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get there. And if you're not on that road with me, you're getting cut off of my life. That's how you're going to get there.
I literally did the exact same thing. I don't even know how many dozens of people I just cut off.
Yeah. That's why we're on this call together right now.
I think we got to end it on that, man. That's such a solid point that if people just actually do that, that's the best thing they could be doing along the journey of entrepreneurship.
Just fucking give it your all.
That's it, baby. Well, look, Justin, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. Where can the people find you?
The best is just my Instagram at Justin J Saunders. It's JustinJaySaunders. Just go on there, shoot me a DM, say you found me from Philip's podcast, and we'll connect.
That's that dude. That's that motherfucker dude. Well, hey, man, thanks for doing this. We'll have to have you back on, and hope to talk soon, brother.
All right, brother. Safe travels.
Thank you, man. Stay well.
Later.
Bye.